What's up? What it do? How you doing? And I am back with another video today. What are we cooking up today, E&E family? Hot Cheeto mac and cheese and apple crisp. Don't want to miss this. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is get started by grating up our cheese. I already have my noodles on the stove cooking. And you can buy pre-shredded cheese if you prefer. I don't know. It's just something about buying a block of cheese and grating it up. To me, it just makes it taste better. So, but you definitely can buy pre-grated cheese if that's your thing. So how is everyone out there in video land today? I hope everyone is having an amazing day. I certainly have had a fantastic day today. Okay, so we're going to get this grated. And a little tip when you're grating your cheese, if you stick it in the freezer for a little while before you grate, it's easier to grate. You know how cheese can be kind of soft? It's easier to grate if you stick it in the freezer for a little bit, for about maybe 20 minutes before you grate it, while you're getting everything prepped. So, I know it sounds crazy. I know you guys are like, oh my goodness, they are going overboard with hot Cheeto stuff. You know, I actually just seen a video where it was hot Cheeto deviled eggs. That's something you probably won't see me make, hot Cheeto deviled eggs. But, yeah, it gets more and more interesting with each video. But I hadn't seen any, I'm sure someone has tried this. I haven't seen anyone try it. But I had to do it with y'all. Had to do it. So this cheddar I'm using right here, this is a Vermont white sharp cheddar. I use several different cheeses in my mac and cheese. I use sharp cheddar, Colby Jack. I use a little bit of everything in my mac and cheese. So I'm going to continue grating the cheese. And then we're going to get into putting this together. So guys, I like to make a little cheese sauce. When I get down to the ends of my cheese and my hands are getting tired from grating, I throw those puppies in a pot with some half and half cream, and I just let that cheese melt down until I have a nice delicious sauce, just like this. I don't know if you guys can see this. I hope you can. But I mean, that's amazing. So that's going to go in our noodles. And I'm just making sure everything's melted down before we get it in our noodles and transfer it over to our dish. And you want to stir this constantly, because it will stick to the bottom if you don't. So just give it a continuous stir, just until it looks nice and pretty. And if you have a whisk, I would definitely use a whisk to do this. It just makes it so much easier, and you don't get those clumps in your sauce. Okay, we are gonna get this all transferred over so that we can start making our mac and cheese. And now we are ready. Okay, this is all that cheese that I grated. So let's get the cheese sauce into our noodles. Let's get that mixed in. And you know, if this is a weeknight and you're kind of like, I don't have time to be trying to make baked macaroni and cheese, you could actually just make this as a stovetop mac. My mom used to do this all the time when we were little. Make this as a stovetop mac and cheese. Absolutely delicious. Just like this, and let it cook. I'm going to add a little more cheese to it. All that deliciousness that we grated up. Get that stirred in. It's nothing better than you want a cheesy mac and cheese, and you don't want it to be dry. So I will probably add a little more cream to this, in half and half. Look at that. Look how delicious that looks. Oh, that cheesy goodness. Oh, nothing better, I tell you. Let's get a little more cheese because we want to reserve some cheese for the top. Get a little more cheese added in there. And I'm going to add a little more half and half. And you guys know I don't measure unless I'm baking. So I would start with maybe a half cup or so and see where you need to go from there. Let's get all that mixed in. Oh, this looks absolutely amazing. Cheesy. So cheesy. More cheese. Now we don't want to forget seasoning. You gotta season your macaroni and cheese, baby. We don't want it to be bland. So, because we have the cheese, you want to be careful how much salt you put. So start with a half teaspoon. We're gonna get a little salt in here. Some black pepper. I know, y'all, that's a lot of black pepper. Y'all know I like a good seasoning now. Stir that up. Get all mixed in. And we're going to give this a taste to see if it needs anything else. Very simple. It's not hard. I make it different every time I make it, to be honest. I use different cheeses every time I make it. These are the cheeses I had on hand today, and they work just fine. Let's get a fork and give it a taste. See if it needs any more different seasoning. Perfect. Perfect. Now, let's move this aside. Now, y'all didn't think I was going to make an entire dish of hot Cheeto mac and cheese, did y'all? I could not justify that. So we're just going to do 2 small dishes of hot Cheeto mac and cheese, and then we'll do 1 large dish of regular mac and cheese. So let's get some butter. And guys, my oven has been preheating to 375 degrees. That's the temperature you want to cook this on. So let's butter our dish. We don't want all that goodness to stick. Not at all. That buttered up. Get this buttered up. You guys, I was so excited about making this. I forgot to crush up my hot Cheetos. So we're going to have to do that here in a moment. Let's get this in our dish before we do that. Let's get this in our dish. Let's get a spoon so we can ladle it out. Okay. Look at this, guys. Oh. Look at that. Sinful. Some here. Okay. And then I have a bigger dish because we don't want the entire dish to be hot Cheetos. So let's butter this up. Okay. That buttered up real nice like. We'll make sure it's good and buttered, yeah. Okay. Let's get the rest of our mac and cheese in here and hope all this fits. I think it will. Oh yeah, it'll fit. We don't want to leave a drop of this behind. Not one drop. Spread that out. Okay. Now, because I forgot to grind up my Cheetos, we're going to do that real quick. Okay, so we're going to get these topped. I did forget my pan, so let me get my pan. I don't like to bake anything like this without a pan because it will definitely mess up the bottom of your oven. And to protect my pan, I'm going to use a little foil on the bottom. on top of here, I'm going to add just another sprinkle of cheese. I also have some panko breadcrumbs. I love these things. I love panko breadcrumbs. It's supposed to be a resealable bag, y'all, but it ain't gonna be resealable today. We just gonna stick it in a Ziploc bag when we're done. Okay, so let's get some panko breadcrumbs sprinkled on the top. I've made this with so many different cheeses. I've made it with, oh man, some really expensive good cheeses. I've sprinkled gorgonzola on top. I've done a little blue cheese. Depends on, the kind of cheese you're putting in it. And I don't always do panko on top. I am today. And so that it actually crisps up, you can take either a little butter, melted butter, or olive oil and sprinkle on the top so that it actually crisps. Extra virgin olive oil is what I like. Okay, so we got that. Now for the hot Cheeto. Oh, guys, this is insane. This is crazy. Okay. So let's get a sprinkling of hot Cheetos on top of here. Push this back so you guys can see a little better. Let me take my bracelets off. They get in the way. Okay. Oh, this is insane. And I'm loving it. Okay, let's get a little sprinkling of olive oil on top of these so they actually crisp. Oh, that was too much olive oil. That's okay though. Everything in here is done. So you're basically just wanting this to brown up to as delicious and bubbly on top. Some people actually add eggs to their mac and cheese. I don't add eggs to mine. I don't feel I have a need to when I have all this deliciousness going on here. So I'm going to bake these in a 375-degree oven for about 20 to 25 minutes or until the tops are bubbly and golden brown. And when we come back, we are going to taste hot Cheeto mac and cheese, and then we're going to get started on apple crisp. You don't want to miss this. So let's get started on this apple crisp. I can smell that macaroni and cheese, and it smells absolutely amazing. Let's do a check on it real quick. Ah, this smells so good. But we're going to leave it in for just a little bit longer. I want that top to crisp up just a little bit more if you can. Okay. So let's get started on apple crisp. Apple crisp is one of the first desserts I learned how to make when I first started baking. So first, we are going to core our apples, and I'm just using 2 today. I'm just going to make small apple crisp. I'm the only person in this house that likes apple crisp, so I'm just making a really small one. So I have Honey Crisp apples. You can use whatever apple you like to bake with. I like Honey Crisp because of the crispness, and they hold their texture when you bake. So that's why I like to use them. Okay, so we got that out. Let's get this one cored. Okay, let me grab a paper towel for my hands. And what I like to do is just take a pillar like this. This is my pillar, and that's how I peel my apple. You can use a knife if you don't have a pillar. I just find it easier to use a pillar to do it. So we're going to get these peeled up, and then we're going to get them chopped up. So I only cut up 1.5 apples since I'm just making a small one. And so that your apples don't brown on you, add the juice of a lemon. Not the whole lemon, you can just do a half a lemon. Plus it gives it some extra flavor. Okay, let me get a utensil here so we can toss things up. Okay, so that was the juice of a lemon. To that, we're going to add some sugar. Let's start with 1/3 cup and see where we are with that. That was 1/3 cup sugar. You can add whatever you like to this. If you like brown sugar, you can add brown sugar. I'm just doing white sugar. Let's add just a little bit more. Okay, now, I like a little apple pie spice. Everybody's different. Some people don't like their apple crisp to taste like apple pie. I just like it to taste good, y'all. So a little apple pie spice. You can start with a, half teaspoon. And I know I said I bake when I measure, but I think this is an exception where I don't. So start with a half teaspoon. So that's apple pie spice. Going to add a little cinnamon. And I'm going to add a little nutmeg. Just a little bit. Not a lot. Nutmeg can be overpowering. And to cut some of the sweet, add a little salt. Let's get that all tossed up. Now let's taste the apple to see. Doesn't need any more sugar. I'm going to add just a little bit more apple pie spice. Just a little bit. Okay. So let's set this aside and let's get started on our topping. So for our topping, we're going to start with, about a half cup of flour. Now, the amount you use for the topping depends on how big your apple crisp. So, of course, if you're making a bigger crisp, you want to use a little more ingredient for your topping. But since I'm just making small ones, about a half a cup. We're going to start with a 1/3 cup of sugar. Or a little more. Pinch of salt. Help cut some of the sweet. And just like I season my apples, I'm going to season my flour. So I'm going to add a little apple pie spice. And you can do the same thing. Start with a half teaspoon. I know that's way more than a half teaspoon. Cinnamon. And just a little nutmeg. And I would go less than a half teaspoon on the nutmeg. Okay, let's get a fork. Now, butter. So, we're going to cut up a little butter. And I might need a little bit more than this. We'll see here in a second. This doesn't need to be cold because you want to be able to mix this up until the flour resembles like coarse meal or little peas. So let's get this in here. And if you have a pastry cutter, you can use a pastry cutter. I'm just using a fork today. Okay. Let's get that all cut up in there. And you know, I might have to pull out my pastry cutter. Actually, if you just get in there with your hands. But before we do that, let's check this mac and cheese. Oh, yep, it's ready. It is ready to come out and make its appearance. We will get to tasting that in a second. But first, let's get this finished. So, my hands are clean. I've washed them. Let's just get in here with our hands and do like this. You don't want to use melted butter. You don't want to use frozen butter for this, because we're not making a dough. We're just making basically a crumble topping. Just like that. You see how it comes together, and I can, and it looks like a dough a little bit. It's not a dough. But you definitely want to crisp up. You can add, now I don't have any oats, so that's why I'm not using oats today. You can add oats, chopped up nuts to this, raisins, whatever topping you like on your apple crisp, you absolutely can do. I'm just using what I have on hand today. And this is how I like it most of the time. I usually don't add raisins. I have added nuts. And I have added oats to the topping. But you don't have to do that. You can, however you want to make it, you can make it. Okay. I have two different size dishes here. So we just want to butter the inside of our dish so that nothing sticks. Okay, that's good enough. Now let's get some apples added in. That. I love the juices that it makes. Oh, so good. Okay. Let's butter up this dish as well. We'll put what we have left. Oops. It's a little too much butter. But y'all never thought I'd say that. Too much butter. Let's put our remaining apples in here. Okay. So, let's get this topping on here. Just like that. This is gonna brown up, be crispy and delicious. Oh, it's gonna be amazing. Can't wait to taste it for you guys. Let's get this one here. Okay, so we have our apple crisp ready to go in a 375 degree oven for 20 to 25 minutes, or until the tops are brown and bubbly. And when we come back, we will be tasting hot Cheeto mac and cheese. I can't wait. Okay, y'all, I was going to try and clean up all my mess in my kitchen so it would look a certain way when I tasted this, but I absolutely cannot wait. I have to taste this now. I am starving for one. So this is really hot. Let's get a bite of this. Look at that. Look at it. Oh, look at that. Still smoking. Want a bite? You take the first bite. Oh, it fell. Okay. Look at that. Oh, my goodness. It's really hot, y'all. I know y'all think I'm crazy. This is the bomb. Oh my goodness. I gotta go back in. I don't know if it's just because I'm hungry or it's really good. I gotta go back in for another bite, y'all. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Look at that. Mmm. Mmm. That was amazing. I also have my regular mac and cheese here. Let's get a bite of this one too. So good. Mm. I already knew this was good. I already knew. I didn't even have to guess. I make this all the time. I mean, it's still my macaroni and cheese with the other one. Just with a hot Cheeto topping. Mm. Y'all, I gotta get back to this one. Oh my goodness. This is absolutely amazing. Who would have thought crushed up Cheetos on top of macaroni and cheese would be so good? It got a little crisp because of the olive oil that I sprinkled on there. Mmm. Amazing. Mmm. Mmm, mmm, mmm. You have to try this. The Cheetos give it a whole nother layer of flavor. You have to try this. Mm. So, so good. Mmm. When we come back, we are going to indulge in a little apple crisp. Y'all don't go nowhere. So our apple crisp is finally done and out the oven. It's still really hot. Can you guys see that? Look at that. Look how amazing that looks. Now let's get a bite. Crispy top. Oh. You want a bite? Take a bite. Look how good that looks. Really good. Really, really good. The apples are cooked to an absolute perfection. Not too mushy, not too crisp. Nice crunchy top, buttery. The perfect amount of spice, the perfect amount of sweetness. So good. Pair that with your favorite ice cream, your favorite whipped topping, or eat it just plain. It doesn't matter how you eat it, it is absolutely delicious. E family, I thank you for rocking with me today. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Share this video with anyone and everyone that you know. Please follow me on Instagram and Facebook. The links will be in the description box below. And as always, E family, don't forget to live a little and love a lot. Y'all be easy. Peace.